So, I'm pretty sure everyone here, or at least a lot of people, have a pet, a dog, a cat, whatever. But personally, I have a dog, and her name is Cookie, and she's a Chihuahua. Now, my quote is, "Diplomacy is the art of saying nice doggy till you can find a rock," by Caitlin. I don't know what this means, I don't know what she's trying to say, but I do understand nice doggy. And today, I'm going to share with you 3 reasons why owning a pet is beneficial to you. 1, dogs are smart. 2, they have emotions. And 3, they are loyal. Now, dogs are smart in the sense that they have the ability to learn. And for example, I watched this video of a person who lived in the middle of the woods trained his dog not to step in traps and avoid the bait. Now, the dog did step in the trap the first time, and it did get hurt, and that is how it learned. But the fact that it has the ability to learn shows that they are very smart creatures. And if the dog can learn, then I feel like that is a sense, or you are able to learn with the pet, and it isn't just, you're not just teaching it for no reason. You will learn, the dog will learn what you teach it, and then you can kind of learn how to teach, if that makes sense. So if you teach a dog, you can teach a person, you can teach another pet, or etc. Now, in the sense that dogs have emotions, dogs feel sad, they feel happy, they feel angry. You can see that in their expressions just by how they bark, how when you get home, they bark in happiness. Like personally, whenever I get home, my dog, she runs around, she barks for me to pet her, but then 5 minutes later, she just ignores me completely. And it's amazing how dogs they have emotions, because if you're sad, they'll notice that and they'll walk up to you and they'll comfort you. If you're happy, they'll share the happiness with you. They'll want you to play with them, use up that energy. And if you're angry, personally, whenever I'm angry and I see my dog, I feel bad, so I kind of calm myself down not to freak her out. So dogs can help you keep your emotions in check, or even express your emotions. Like, I have a friend who said one time she was crying and her dog went up to her and comforted her. And I thought it's pretty amazing, because a lot of people kind of think, oh, that person's crying, I'm gonna stay away. I don't want to I feel uncomfortable. But dogs, they care, which leads me to my 3rd and final point. Dogs are loyal. I've had my dog, she's 13, 14 years old, and I'm surprised she's still alive, to be honest. But I have my cousin who has a dog also. His name's Rex, he's a beagle. That guy's like too old. I'm pretty sure he's in misery right now. But he's like the fattest beagle I've ever seen. But I've met him, I pretty much remember him my whole life, and I'm surprised he's still alive as well. But he stays by my cousin's side. He comforts my cousin, he loves my cousin. He can be outside and not want to run away, because he has formed a connection to my cousin, the owner. And that's just really cool, because you have a new friend, or a friend for life. And not even just for you, but for your family and friends. They have a friend within a friend, if that makes sense. You can share your friendship with your dog, with your friends. Owning a dog is amazing, because 1, they're smart, they have the ability to learn. 2, they are lifelong friends, they're loyal. And 3, they have the ability to learn. And I think that's why you should invest, or at least think about owning a dog.
All right, George, I like the good common reference that you have to most people's experience. You tell us what the quote is, and you tell us, frankly, you don't understand what it means, but here's what you're going to talk about. That's okay. It's like I said, it's supposed to be a door that you can go through. You did the best you could to come up with something that seemed relevant to the subject, so we're not going to punish you too much on that. I thought it was clearly expressed what it was that you decided to talk about, and you had a good preview at the beginning of the speech, so we knew where you were headed. I appreciated that. There were several distinctive points. Maybe the 3rd point sounds a little familiar. It sounds a little bit like some of the things that you talked about earlier in the presentation. But I like the fact that you used an example that you saw on a television program on that first, or maybe as a YouTube video on that first section. That's kind of what we're talking about. Use your experience, use what you've seen, what you've learned, what you've encountered to talk about those kinds of things. And I thought that worked pretty well. A little bit more detail might have made it more fun, but it was fine. Presentation issues. It's easy to hear you. It's relatively quiet in here. Your voice is strong enough. You don't have a problem there. I do think that you have a little bit of variation in your voice, but it's a very narrow range that it's operating in. And sometimes you may want to stretch a little bit and try a little more emphasis either with the volume or your tone, because you kind of stay in this one groove and you want to have a little bit more energy to it, so it doesn't sound like you're droning. Okay, it was pretty fluid. I thought the gestures were pretty good for the most part. I wonder if anybody else could pick out the thing that I thought was most problematic. My guess will be as soon as you watch yourself, you know what it is. You've got this swaying thing. You are shifting your feet from one foot to the other, back and forth, and that's where all your nervous anxiety is coming out. It's coming out in that situation, and you never stop while you're doing it. That's something that you want to think about. You kind of have to be conscious of those things to be able to control them. And so when I point them out, remember this is something to fix. It's not like you're a horrible human being, you did something terrible. It's just like you got to pay attention to stuff, and we don't always see the things that we're doing. We may not notice them. You're going to notice it when you watch your video. You'll see what I'm talking about. And hopefully that'll make it easier for you to work on in the future. Okay, thank you.